Um, I think we need to. Well, we need to watch the watchers, right? So the watchers, these are the people who observe society. You could call them scientists who study people, yeah? And
Mhm.
everything is a form of science, yeah? Everything is a form of gathering information. And these people gain knowledge, and with their knowledge, they gain a little bit of power, and they can use that to influence. But we also need people to watch the watchers to make sure that they are doing what they should be doing. Okay,
Mhm.
yeah. So we we need to watch the watchers. We need to um, be observant of the fact that they get things wrong. The number of times I have heard, this is the science, and the science is fixed. It Oh, come on, it's so simple. The science is never fixed.
Mhm.
Science is evolving. It's a
Over.
process.
True,
It's
yeah.
doing the best that we know how until we learn more and can do better. It's this constant process of
Mhm. Mhm.
gradualism, step by step, making
Mhm.
things better. That's real science. And real science is asking questions about everything.
Mhm.
When everyone agrees, you have to wonder if it's really scientific, because scientific is the questioning of processes.
Mhm.
It's not really about the making of laws. Those are two different things, right? The lawmakers all agree because they're interested in power and control. The scientists should never completely agree because our knowledge is all different, and we are, as societies, we are forgetful creatures. I forget where I put my book, or I forget where uh, you know, the, just,
Mhm.
I'm good. I'm good with my keys. I know where my keys are. I'm good with my phone. I know where my phone is. But there will be things that maybe I haven't seen for a few weeks, and I'll be like, where did I put that? It'd be like some little screw that goes into a skateboard or something. I'll be like, now where did I put that screw for the skateboard? And we forget these things. We misplace these things. We make mistakes, and that's history. History is us forgetting things and us making mistakes and not realizing that we need to be um, more more careful. And we should understand. Just look back at history. Look at what we did to Galileo, for example. Right? I mean, we um, Galileo was forced by the church, of all things, by the church, to say that the sun went round the earth,
Mhm. Mhm.
or that the earth, he was forced to say the earth does not move.
Mhm.
And he said the earth does not move, but it does. And yet it does. And and he was forced to live in his own home and not go out, right? Because he said that. Yeah. And he wasn't even the first person, because that was just was it a Copernicum theory? Yep,
Mhm. Copernicus.
yep, yep. And so he was realizing that many centuries before, other people had actually figured this out and worked this out. So, um, this idea that we've we've solved all the problems, it's we've still got a long way to go, and there's still a lot of
Mhm.
unknowns about the future, and we make unfortunately we make mistakes as a society and as
Yeah.
humanity.
Mm.
So we need to be vigilant, to watch the watchers. We we need to be very careful because they're very good at what they do.
Mhm.
They're very good at what they do. They have a message and they repeat the message again and again and again and again and again. And they are paid very well to do this. And it's sad. You would think with modern education that such a process would not be possible, that we would be taught to question everything. Um, it's protect the earth, yes, but sort of, protect the people as well. Because what is the earth without people? It's kind of meaningless, really. And it's the planet. If we compare human psychology with what I would call planetary psychology, or
Mhm.
the biology of the planet, the planet is relatively healthy. It
Mm.
is people who are not healthy, right? I mean,
Mm.
the some of the animals and the trees live longer than the people, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
And we've got a whole group of it's it's just another example of how we don't get anywhere, right? How everything's just a we're right back where we were 100 years ago again. It's like we developed society to a point, but we didn't evolve as people. I'm sure if you go back in time 100 years,
Mm.
you will find people just as intelligent as are today, and just and just as stupid as well, right? You will find on average people just as intelligent as today. People who have questions about
Mm.
the world, and questions about society. And it's interesting looking back at old films. Yeah,
Mm.
so I subscribe to a number of social media channels, and on some of them there are these channels that every day put out old videos. They'd like from
Mhm. Mhm.
1880 or 1890 or 1910, and these are old colorized films of
Mhm.
how life was like in Berlin or Japan, or
Mhm.
in different parts of the world. And yeah, everyone is well dressed in these films that I've seen recently. Everyone is well dressed. They're smart.
Mhm.
They're looking good. They're looking healthy. Yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
relatively. Okay, I mean
Mm.
you can find terrible examples of people living in unhealthy
Mhm.
places in cities 100 years ago for sure. But in these in the in these videos, the people look quite different from how people look today. Yeah, that they they look stronger,
Mm.
more. Maybe they had to be to survive the kind of lifestyle that people had back then.
Mhm.
But um, it it's interesting if you compare that to, like, if you take a camera and you go around the streets of Paris now,
Mhm.
you're going to see people in all kinds and styles of clothing, right? Some formal,
Mhm.
some casual, whatever, right? You go back and watch these old films of
Mhm.
Paris 100 years ago, and everybody looked super smart. You know, everybody looked well dressed, and everybody wanted to present themselves in the best way, in
Mhm. Mhm.
the best light possible. And it's interesting looking back because maybe that was a good idea to do that. I'm I'm a person who look I like to dress casually in everything that I do, but I'm not against people dressing formally. If you want to dress up formally and you want to make yourself look good, that's cool. I mean that's great.
Mhm.
Um, but there's a strong argument for the fact that a lot of these things were better. I mean, the center of New York was much nicer 100 years ago than it is today, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Well, they don't have the rundown ghetto areas, you know.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, so it's it's interesting seeing that the care and attention and it was harder to look good in the past because getting the materials for clothes was difficult and being clean was difficult and
Mhm.
getting fresh water was difficult
Yes, yes, yes.
and so it was harder back then when people put in the effort and
Het is development, så det var
it's yeah it's the question of progress, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
It's the question of progress. You build a rocket to fly to the moon, but why? You know,
Mhm. Mhm.
why do you do that? Because it's there, maybe. Because there's nothing else to do. Because you like the idea. Because you believe it will be good. Because somebody pays you. You know what what you know what difference does it make, right? What difference does
Mhm.
it make?
Mhm.
So um,